Guys, it's Jenny Silver with a California update for you on Monday, November 1st. 20 states have filed suit against the Biden administration and the federal government regarding vaccination mandates for COVID-19. President Biden issued an executive order on September 9th, 2021, requiring all federal workers and contractors to be vaccinated against COVID-19. Now, 20 states have filed suits to block the mandate, calling it unconstitutional. 10 of those states filed a joint lawsuit in Missouri, while Texas and Florida filed separately in their own states. Another group filed in Georgia, including Alabama, Idaho, Kansas, South Carolina, Utah, and West Virginia. Of the 20 states who filed suit, 19 of those states have Republican governors and attorney generals, with the exception being Kansas, who has a Democratic governor, and Iowa, who has a Democratic attorney general. The suits issued Friday argue that the president doesn't have the authority to issue the rule and that it violates procurement law. The suits also argue that the rule violates the 10th Amendment, reserving power to the states, illegally uses federal spending to coerce the states, and that 60 days of public comment wasn't properly allowed. The Georgia-led suit does argue that if such a rule was passed through Congress, then it could become a law. Amid some states filing suit against the federal government in opposition to vaccination mandates, those who are choosing to vaccinate themselves and their children can soon anticipate CDC approval for the age group 5 to 11 for receiving COVID-19 vaccinations. Following the FDA panel approval for the age group 5 to 11 for vaccinations, next to come is the CDC approval, which will then mean that individuals who wish to get their children vaccinated can do so. Many healthcare providers have opened appointment scheduling for those in age group 5 to 11 for COVID-19 vaccinations. Appointments must be scheduled for after November 5th when the state expects the CDC approval for that age group. The state of California expects to have 1.2 million doses available to administer in the first week of approval. Parents can contact their child's pediatrician or healthcare provider to inquire about appointments and are also able to schedule an appointment by visiting My Turn or by calling 833-422-4255. Next, today, November 1st, is the first day of open enrollment for healthcare through Covered California. Starting today on November 1st through January 31st is open enrollment in which you can enroll in the state's healthcare marketplace on Covered California. For those who wish their plan to be effective on January 1st, however, you must enroll by December 15th in order to have that effective start date be the first of the new year. Due to the American Rescue Plan, subsidized premiums and out-of-pocket costs are much more affordable than they were previously. Many have undergone changes in employment over the last year due to the pandemic. So if you are now in need of coverage outside of an employer-provided insurance plan, you may sign up online, over the phone, or visit one of the Covered California storefronts for additional assistance in navigating your coverage. Next, the $3.5 trillion spending bill has been cut to $1.75 trillion, and along with it, items which were cut include paid family leave, free community college, as well as dental and vision care for Medicare recipients. Why were these programs cut? Well, in order to get this spending bill passed, Democrats are using a process called budget reconciliation. In order to get this bill passed using budget reconciliation, all Democratic voters must be on board with the proposed spending bill, which means that some of the more conservative Democrats, such as Joe Manchin, who are not in favor of some of the policies included in the larger version of the spending bill, must be on board in order to get it passed at all. This has resulted in the spending bill needing to be cut down to a point where they know that all Democratic representatives will be on board with voting in favor of the bill, since they do not have the Republican support in order to pass it using a traditional process. Some of the programs that were cut include paid family leave, access to free community college, as well as dental and vision care for Medicare recipients. Lastly, for those of you who are anticipating to receive your Golden State Stimulus 2 direct deposit by October 31st, the California Franchise Tax Board did state October 31st as the deadline to finish those payouts of direct deposits deposits for those individuals who qualified for the Golden State stimulus. However, recently in an interview, a representative from the California Franchise Tax Board stated that they do continue to process additional direct deposits for both those individuals who filed their taxes later than the actual deadline, but by that October 15th deadline, as well as for individuals who have more complicated tax issues that need to be validated before they issue those payments. If you have not yet received your Golden State stimulus, make sure that you qualify. No one will be receiving a second $600 payout if you received a Golden State Stimulus 1 in the first round. If you are anticipating to receive your first $600 payout, or if you claim dependents in tax year 2020 and you're anticipating that additional $500 flat for claiming any dependents, then unfortunately you may need to continue to wait as the California Franchise Tax Board continues to pay out those direct deposits with more complicated scenarios. For those of you that are still awaiting a paper check, the California Franchise Tax Board has the following timetable, which shows their mailing dates for sending out those paper checks. Okay, you guys, I hope that was helpful, and please click like, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. We'll have until December 31st, January. Which one is it? It's January. Programs cut include paid family leave, free community college, as well as medical. Programs cut include paid family leave,